Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'm going to show you guys all the settings that got me to top 5K in North America. And by the way, guys, if you guys want early access to every single one of my content, just like this video, that's going to be released early to my training arc community, and you're interested in saving thousands of hours of grinding Valorant and actually ranking up without just queuing and not seeing any progress, click the link in the description below. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now starting off on the Windows side of things, you want to go ahead and head over to your search bar on your Windows, and you want to type in Startup Apps. This is the first step. We're going to go ahead, click on Startup Apps, and then we're going to come here, and you're just going to make sure that every single one is turned off except for Riot Client and Vanguard. These are the only two you want to keep turned on. Anything you have to turn on, you can turn on manually every time you load in. This is just going to help your CPU out a lot. Now, after this, you want to head over to System, and then you want to click on Display, and then scroll down till you see Graphics. Click on Graphics, and now what we're going to do is we're going to try to force Valorant to use more GPU than CPU. How we're going to do that is you're going to come here to Custom Settings for Applications, and you're going to press Add Desktop App. Once you're here, what you want to do is you want to go to this PC, Windows C. You want to come down here, click on Riot Games, go to Valorant, Live, and then go ahead and add Valorant first. And then you want to add another desktop app. And this time you're going to go to Live, and then you're going to go to Engine, Binaries, Win64. Wait, no, sorry. No. I'm tripping. Is it Shooter Game? I think it's Shooter Game. Shooter Game, Binaries, Win64. And then you're going to go ahead and add Valorant Win64. As you can see, I already have both of them here. Make sure that it's put at high performance, right? And high performance, and then you want to go ahead and turn both of them on. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about the Nvidia control panel settings. What you want to do is you want to go back to your search bar and search up Nvidia control panel if you have an Nvidia graphics card. If you do, something like this should show up, and once you come here, what you want to go ahead and do is put this to use the 3 advanced 3D image settings, okay? And then you want to head over to manage 3D settings and just go ahead and copy everything I have here. I'm going to scroll down very slowly so that you guys can see all the settings that I used to literally go ahead and hit top 5K in North America. And yeah, just go ahead and copy all these settings. Virtual reality, I don't think this matters that much, but this is just a sweet spot that I found that worked for me. But I heard it's different for everyone, so for this one, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But yeah, just go ahead and copy these settings, and you should be good on the Windows and Nvidia side of things. Alright guys, so now for the in Valorant settings, we're going to start off in the general tab here, and you're going to come down to other. Once you come down here, you can feel free to copy all of this, although everything up till here is personal preference. For network buffering, however, you want to make sure that you keep it at minimum. Show bullet tracers is also personal preference. Show spectator count, I always recommend to every student that they keep this off, so that way there is no pressure on you when you're last live, and you also don't get distracted easily. The next thing is everything else here, you can just keep it as what I have. Then we'll head into video settings. So starting off in general, you want to make sure the display mode is always on full screen. This is what I normally have it as. Just because I'm filming this video, I have it changed to Windows full screen. Resolution is completely personal preference. You want to make sure your monitor is selected correctly. And instead of letterbox, you want to make sure you have it on fill. Again, just because I'm filming this video, I have it down to letterbox. Now everything else, limit FPS on battery, I have it off, but it doesn't really matter. Limit FPS in menus, you do want to turn on. Limit FPS in background, you do want to turn on. Limit FPS always. Now, a really good tip to understand is it really depends on how much FPS you have and how much monitor hertz you have. Now, let's say you have a 240 hertz monitor. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to go into a game and you want to see how much hertz do you have typically during the match. If the amount of, how much frames do you have? If the amount of frames that you have is more than your monitor refresh rate, which is 240 hertz, for example. So if you have, let's say, 280 FPS or 300 FPS, then you do not need to limit FPS always. However, if your FPS drops below your monitor hertz, a good practice would be to do exactly what I'm doing here. Now, for example, I have a lower NPC, so my FPS drops below my monitor hertz. So what I've done here is I've added around 20 FPS to my monitor hertz, and then I capped my game at that level. So it's capped at 260. My monitor is 240 hertz, so I capped it and I limited the FPS always to 260. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't know the science behind this, but I saw someone else preach this a long time ago. And ever since I changed it, it's just been very beneficial. I was able to rank up really fast, and it made my game smoother, quite frankly. And then we head into the Nvidia Reflex Low Latency. If you have this option, you want to make sure you have it on plus boost. Now, going into the next section, graphics quality. Multi-threaded rendering on, material quality all the way down, texture quality all the way down, detail quality all the way down, UI quality all the way down. Trust me, guys, especially if you have a lower NPC, you want to have all these on low. And then you go here, this can be turned off, VSync can also be turned off. However, when it comes to anti-aliasing, this is very, I guess what you would call it, it's very dependent on your system. If you have a GPU that is better than your CPU, then technically what you want to do is you want to turn this on to either MSAA 2x or 4x. Now, for example, my CPU is really bad, right? I have a very, not the best CPU, but my GPU is better. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to force my game to render more frames by forcing it to use the GPU more than it uses the CPU. So for that reason, I have the anti-aliasing on MSAA 4x. Now, yours does not have to be like this. You want to make sure what is stronger in your system, whether it's your CPU or your GPU, before you select one. It could be MSAA 2x or 4x, but I would recommend playing around with this in your games and seeing what works best for you. And then for the rest of these, you want to have on off. And then finally, stats, you can turn your client FPS on if you want, but that should be it, guys, as far as your in-game Valorant settings. Now, as you guys can see, you can also copy these if you guys want. I'll just show you guys them anyways. I have all this stuff turned off, but again, this is all personal preference. The only things that are not personal preference that'll actually benefit you is everything I showed earlier. So yeah, guys, that is all for the Valorant side of things.